Good evening, everyone. This is Robert. RJL Network proudly presents the State of the Network for, what's today? April 26, 2024. Oh, yeah. Hi, guys. For those of you who don't know what I look like for anything like that, this is me. Good to see you guys here today. Friday, April 26, 2024. It's orange soda, people. Let's see what we got here joining me early on here. Jeremy Brooks, Brian B., Joe and Pico. I actually do not have the 1969 season already set up. I don't have the cards. They're still in storage. I'll get those tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be going ahead and I'll be bringing the cards, my 1972 season back into storage, along with some other seasons that have arrived since then. So I got to get the 1969 cards. I have already printed out the 1969 fringe players that I have already done. And, of course, 1969 FastScore is done. So I've already got that set to go, but I don't have the inside pitch cards. They're in my storage location. I'll get them tomorrow when I go to storage and bring some stuff over there. So no, I don't have it all set. I don't have it all set up yet, but I'll probably have it. I got my ballpark pictures and the logos ready. So like I usually do, I always put a thumbnail with the ballparks and the logos. And yes, since we're in the 60s, the ballpark pictures will be in black and white. Anything from 69 and earlier, ballpark pictures will always be in black and white. Logos will still be in color, but ballpark pictures will be in black and white. 70s and further, of course, is color. So, good to have you guys. Good to have you. Good to see you all. Yep, first-year division play. The first year also of the San Diego Padres, their first season. San Diego Padres, I believe it was there. I think 69 was their first year, right? So and the Kansas City Royals, wasn't it? Weren't the Royals the expansion team that year too? The San Diego Padres and the Royals, and of course the Montreal Expos, and we will see the Seattle Pilots at Six Stadium, the Seattle Pilots. We get to go visit. Some historical ballparks once again. We get to go to Connie Mack Stadium, aka Shibe Park. We get to go to Forbes Field once again. We go to Crosley Field. We get to see some old Six Stadium, of course, old Candlestick Park before that stadium was closed in. So yeah, we get to see some old ballparks. Of course, RFK Stadium. We have the Washington Senators before they became the Texas Rangers, and they actually were not a bad team in 1969. The Senators, they weren't too bad. And good to see Phoenix Knight, Ron McGrath, and Ian Brook, the creator of On Deck Baseball. So this is just a nice little chat. We'll talk for an hour or two. Discuss what you liked about the last replay. 1972 was that was pretty fun. 1972 was fun. That was a fun season to play. Lots of low-scoring games, pitchers' duels all over the place. Some very big surprises. If you'd have told me that that the Athletics, the Red Sox, the Pirates, and the Reds would not make the championship series in either league, I would have thought you were on crack. I would have thought you were on crack. But That's the way my postseasons go. So even though the Mets won the World Series in 1969, I've only had one postseason where it actually, the two actual World Series teams met. And that was the 1981 replay when the Dodgers played the Yankees. But we all know in 1981, the Dodgers won that World Series, but the Yankees won it in my replay. So it'll be a miracle if the Mets win this one. It'll be a miracle if they win it. Yeah, 69 Reds pitching is garbage. Offense is stacked. Have I watched the doc on Seattle minor league baseball, Kurt Russell? No, I've not seen it. I'll have to catch that out. Yeah, you got to see the outfield wall of Forbes. Ryan Sullivan, good to see you. Yes, so get to see some old ballparks again. We've seen some of these ballparks, of course, when we did the 1961 season, when we did that. But of course they were the Milwaukee Braves, not the Atlanta Braves. 1969, a lot of people say 1969 was one of the best seasons ever. Besides the Mets winning it all, but there were a lot of good teams in both leagues. That season had a lot of good baseball teams besides the Mets, but the Cubs were good. The Braves were good. The Twins were good. The Red Sox were still good. The Yankees still were pretty good. I mean, 69 had a lot of good teams. The only ones that really weren't that good were the expansions, the Pilots. The Seattle Pilots weren't that great. The San Diego Padres were garbage. The Expos were garbage, but they were expansion teams. The Royals sucked that year too. It's amazing. When I give the rings to the Kansas City Royals of 1969, they're going to be looking at me like, huh? What are you talking about here? We won a World Series 3 years later. Any vodka in that drink? No. I do not, me, I do not drink any liquor or anything like that. I do have the occasional beer, but that is all. Trust me, this is orange Fanta soda, and that's all it is. No alcohol here in the house. I never was a drinker in my life. Never was. Never smoked, never drank, never shot, or never snorted. Although some people think I should start. The body's pretty clean, even though the mind is messed up. So, you only had one beer in your life. Like I said, I have the occasional beer. I'll have a beer on my birthday, which is next month. I'll have a beer on my birthday. I'll be definitely going, because I'm going to go see the Mets play the Marlins down here. Still haven't bought the tickets for that yet, but I'll have no problem getting a seat. And of course, we're about to end April. So the first 3-day weekend of the year is coming up. Memorial Day is right around the corner. Indianapolis 500, Coca-Cola 600, some good racing, of course, to watch. Used to drink Fanta. Yeah, no, I have some Fanta. I mean, I'm a soda drinker. So I drink a lot of soda. I drink a lot of Simply Lemonade. Every time I go ahead and do the every time I go ahead and take the seventh inning stretch, I'm always getting a break to wash out the throat, because you guys have me screaming all over the darn place. Oh yeah, Monaco. Crazy track. I don't know how the F1 drivers can drive on that track. That track is not designed for today's cars. Really, for today's Formula One, really isn't. I play F1. I have the F1 game on my PlayStation 5, and I play the F1 game. I always look forward to getting the new one. I love that game. It's a lot of fun to play. So, and wouldn't have anything. Would need to work on boring you. Yeah, the cars are so big now. As I said, that track is just obsolete for today. They really need to make that. I do race that track on the F1 with my video game. I'll tell you, I hate that track to drive. They need to straighten it out a little bit. Get a few of the chicanes out of the way. I think the racing will be better. That track is obsolete for today's cars. It really is. I'm not saying kill the track. Just make it a little bit easier for today's cars, a bit more speed. I don't know. So you missed Diet Code Red. That was Diet. I don't care what anybody says. Diet Coke is the worst drink on planet Earth. If we want to go ahead and get rid of, if aliens want to come to visit us, let's just give them a drink of Diet Coke. Trust me, they'll hop in their spaceships and fly away. They'll hate that drink. That drink is just totally, absolutely nasty. Ugh. I'll tell you, no way. So, we made it through another season, guys. 1972, made it through a season. It was a little shortened. It was a little shortened because 1972 didn't start until midway through April because of the strike, I think. So some teams only played 153. Some teams played 156. It wouldn't have mattered much, though, since I do one game per 3 days of baseball. Season would have ended pretty much the same time, really. I mean, if we had played the extra maybe the remaining 6 games, we'd probably still be doing the network address today. If not, tonight would have been the final game, maybe, of the World Series. Who knows? But yeah, that 72 postseason was crazy. A lot of people, I wonder now, is the 72 season the best one I've done yet, or does 79 still take it? I don't know. That was a lot. There were a lot of good game of the years. I actually don't think we officially chose a game of the year. I don't think we actually did, or maybe I did. Did I actually choose officially a game of the year? I thought I did that. And I don't think I actually chose a game of the year, so I got to choose one more, Cook. And the game of the year is going to be the ALCS Game 1 between the New York Yankees and the Kansas City Royals, the game that went 15 innings and just wouldn't end until the Royals went ahead and got a win in the bottom of the 15th inning. That's going to be the game. I'm going to mark that as that's the game of the year. So I got to take that game and put it into my best games playlist so that people can just watch the best games and not have to go through the entire season. Jim Doyle joins us here. Good to see you guys. Good to see everybody here, for a nice little, hour or two chat. Just talk, baseball, whatever. By the way, how about my Panthers last night, huh? How about those Cats? My Panthers are off to a great start. My Panthers are doing their 3-0 on the Lightning, taking care of business. Last night, the Lightning got up 2-1 in the goals, and I was looking at the Panther bench, and the players in the Panther bench couldn't care less. They had a look on their face like, okay, they scored a goal. Doesn't matter. We're going to win this game anyway. They can score 5 goals. We'll score 6. It don't matter. How about my Panthers? How about the Heat taking one from the Celtics? Although the Heat aren't going to win that series. If they do, that'll be the biggest upset in NBA playoff history. Yeah, I moved around Toronto. I can see with the Bruins. I'm actually rooting for the Leafs. I'd rather play the Leafs than Boston because Boston's going to have a big chip on their shoulder if they play the Panthers. But I think that it depends. I think if Boston was the Panthers are the 2 seed. Boston, I think, was the 3, right? So that means if Boston wins, I think the Panthers have to play them because the Rangers then would play the winner of, Carolina or the Islanders? I forget what it was. I forget what the seedings were. But, yep, so very, very happy to see here. Fenway Franks could curse mine. That was impressive. Well, when you bomb them for 23 3-pointers, when you rain threes like artillery shells, I mean, really. I mean, that's the one thing about basketball. Basketball is the only game where great offense beats great defense. I don't care how good you play defense. You can be on the guy, okay? You can be stuck to him. But if he puts the ball up and it goes in the net, you're going to look at your coach and say, hey, I couldn't do anything more than what I did. That's the only sport where great offense beats great defense. Always. If you put the ball up and it goes in, there's not much you can do. Larry Harris joins us here. And Clee, baseball fan. Good to see you there, Tim. Looking forward to you finishing your your World Series with the Indians and the Dodgers. Looking forward to you to finish that off there. You know, so it's good to have everybody here tonight. You know, I'll tell you. Let me tell you something, guys. You know, when I ended the World Series between the Royals and the Astros, please believe me, when I ended that video, I felt a big sense of accomplishment. Every time I complete a season, it's a sense of accomplishment. It really is. I mean, I'm doing something every night. You know, when I get home, I mean, I have no life. Oh, that, and we'll discuss that with you guys too. They're now whining that you're not going to get anything every night anymore. Go get a life. Go find somebody else to watch. I'm taking a break. I'm still going to do some. Some streaming, of course. There's some baseball I want to do. I got some Fall Classic. I want to give Fall Classic another shot. Purchased a couple of seasons of Fall Classic. I got an unboxing I want to do very shortly here. Maybe I'll try to do a quick unboxing Sunday morning. I won't say what it is, but I will do an unboxing. And if there's somebody in the chat that is hearing me, okay, that unboxing will be very short. Will be coming up shortly, because I did promise that person I would do an unboxing, and I will do it. And it's still in the mailbox, by the way. I've not even opened it up. Do not give in to the dark side. Please believe me. Inside Pitch is not going to go away. Inside Pitch is my bread and butter. I'm being called the Inside Pitch ambassador, which is which is high flattery, actually. All right. And no, Chris does not pay me anything. He doesn't send me anything free. I pay for everything that he sends me, okay, because it's the right thing to do. I play his game. He just makes it. You think Houston would have won it all with their injured reliever? He has a weapon, all that. Fred Gladding probably would have done it. But that's the one thing I like about my postseason. Injuries are full-time. You get hurt, you get hurt. It happened. The Yankees lost Thurman Munson and Felipe Alou, and they still, beat the Yankees still beat the Oakland Athletics. I mean, really? No Thurman Munson, and no Felipe Alou for the ALDS, and they still beat the A's. Go figure. Really. A lot of people have been telling me they've been buying some seasons of Inside Pitch. I hope Chris's sales are increasing. I hope they are. I just love playing the game. Steeler fan joins us here, of course. Good to see you, Mr. Matt. I just love playing Inside Pitch. To me, it's the most fun game you can play. I know. Yes, I do rat on some of the other games that are out there. Yes, I do. But to me, Inside Pitch has got the most fun. To me, like I said, and it's still pretty accurate. It's very accurate. How many times have we played a game where the final score of the game was the actual final score of the game? We've gotten very close where we had actual historic line scores. Very close. That's why I always put the line score in the chat from the actual historical game during the regular season, because I want to see how close we get. Yes, sometimes we're not even close. Hence the Pittsburgh Pirates San Francisco Giants game from the 2016 season. Yeah, I think that was a 1-0. I think it was a 1-0 game was supposed to be, and it wound up being 13-12. Sometimes the dice roll that way. If we were to play that game again, the exact same lineup and the exact same whatever, okay, of course that game would be rolled differently. Of course it'd be rolled. You know? Of course it would. Wish there were more splits. Well, like I said, that's the biggest caveat, unfortunately. But remember also the pitchers have splits in there too, and that does make a difference. And like I said, and Chris does say, if he was to make every card a perfect split, the card would be unreadable. And he's right. The card would be unreadable. You wouldn't be able to use it. He would have to pretty much increase the size of the card. So if you look at an inside pitch card, I'll just use let's see here. Let's see, an inside pitch card. I got some let's see. Yeah, here we go. We'll use this guy. 1969 French player. 1969 French player. Carlton Fisk. 1969. Very young Carlton Fisk. 1969. He's a French player in 1969. Okay. All right. And he had 5 at bats, no average. Carlton Fisk for 1969 Boston. But if you were to split everything on the card, that means every one of these would have a slash and a mark, slash and a mark, slash and mark. The card would be used. I think the card would be unreadable. And I don't think you'd be able to use it. You would really. He would have to increase the size of the cards, maybe to the size of maybe a little bit smaller than the season ticket baseball cards, or maybe a little larger than the what also has big cards, on deck baseballs cards, maybe a little bit smaller than they are. It's interesting. You question fast score accuracy before inside pitch. Hey, like I said, Brian, I got to tell you, hey, fast score, you get some very weird things. In 1972, the Chicago White Sox were 20 games above 500 that year. Didn't even finish with a losing record. My Mets were 10 games above 500 in 1972 historically. They finished with a losing record. Sometimes they just get bad dice rolls. If I was to re-roll that season again, we would get a much different result. But that's okay. Like I said, I tell people, if you want to replay a season, okay, but you get mad because your favorite team didn't do so well, or some teams that stunk suddenly did well, okay, then what's the point then? Just instead of replaying the season, just choose the 4 division winners, or if you want to expand the postseason a bit, choose the top 2 teams in each division, play a division series or something like that, and then go. Go right ahead. What's the point? What's the point then of replaying a season? You're gonna get some differences, and that's okay. You want some surprises. Yes, the dice can be evil. Exactly. You're gonna get surprises. You're gonna get changes. You're gonna get lots of different results, and that's fine. That's what makes it exciting. The Kansas City Royals in 1972 finished under 500. In my season, they win the World Series. I think they were 70 and 74 historically, but the Royals just got some very good dice rolls and fast score, and then when they got to the postseason, they owned it. I thought the Astros went 7-0. They swept the Pirates out. They swept the Cubs out. I said, okay, the Astros are probably going to sweep out the Royals. But when the Royals won the first game 10-3 or something like that, destroyed them, I said, okay, this World Series is not going to go the way that I think. A good baseball sim gives you a player's ability, not the same outcome. True. Very true. Doug Hunt joins us here. Yeah, it really has, it gives you the great player ability, okay, but, it doesn't want the same out. You're not going to get the same outcome all the time. We can replay the same exact game with the same exact lineups, okay, and we're going to get, if we replay that game 5 times, we're going to get 5 different results. 5 different results, okay? It's, whether you may get the same run scored, possibly, Okay, but you might get more hits, maybe an error here or two, something that occurred in the first game that didn't occur in the second. What are we doing in RJL Network, a Hall of Fame inductees? You know, that's the fun part. And because we bounce from season to season, good to see you, Sean 1113, although I know you tried to say something there. But I know we go when we jump from season to season to season to season, we have no idea. Okay. I mean, we're going to go to 1969. It's only 3 years earlier than 1972. Pretty much a lot of the players are on the same teams, but there are a few changes. There are some differences from 69 compared to 72. Okay. There are some differences in how the teams play. FastScore is going to be different because the ratings those teams get in FastScore will be different. So we're going to get different results from FastScore. We're going to get on the 10-minute ticker. We're going to get different results from inside pitch when we get to the postseason again. And since you know we're still doing the two division alignment, it's going to be again the top three. 1969 will be again the top three teams each division will make the postseason, but you must have a winning record. I mean, in 1972, we didn't have we only had one wild card series game, and that was between the Orioles and the Yankees, the American League. Nobody else finished with a winning record in the National League except the top two in each division: Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, the Cubs, and the Astros. Everybody else had a losing record. And I remember one time somebody said to me, I think it was the 1961 season when the Dodgers had a losing record and still got in. And somebody got a little bit miffed at that in the comments. At first, I wanted to say, look, it's my game. I'll play it my way. But then I thought about it. I said, you know what? Maybe he's right. You got to have a winning record in order to make the postseason. If you're a losing team, you should not be playing for the whole ball of wax. And so I said, you know what? The guy's right. So I decided to put that into my expanded postseason rules. Boston's number 4 seed, Toronto the 5, Florida 2 in the East. That's right. Number 3 seed in the East. No, Florida's number 2 seed because Florida should be the 2 seed because Florida's a division title. Florida won the division title. They should have home ice for the first and second rounds, no matter who they play, unless they play the Rangers. But they would not play the Rangers until the conference finals if they both get there. So no, Florida's a 2 seed because they won the division. The Rangers are the 1 seed because they got the best record in the conference. That's why the Lightning are the 7 seed. So the 2 is playing the 7 seed. RJL's not turned the RJL Network play with the NBA plot format. I was thinking about that. Not. I think 8 teams in the postseason is a bit too much. I kind of like my ladder format. And I think I think the ladder format actually makes some sense. Okay, although some people said, because the thing about it is when you have 2 divisions, okay, I mean, I could easily take the 1 and 2, get the bye, the 3 plays the 6, the 4 plays the 5, and then you have, and those are your teams right there. But the problem is that I like the ladder format. So if you're the second best record, the best second place record, I think you automatically should get the division series. All right. But if you're the 4, 5, or 6, if you're the 4, you only need to win 1. But if you're the 5 or 6, you got to win 2. I kind of like the ladder format that I'm using. Now, if we ever go back before 1960, to 1960 and backwards, where they only had 8 teams in each league, I'll only be able to take the top 4. I won't be able to take any more than that, if possible. And of course, when we go back to the forward, if we get the 3 division alignment, then the top 3 division winners are automatically in the division round. Then it's the top 2 teams each division. Okay, then the 6 plays the 5, and the 5 then plays the 4, and then we go from there. I didn't want the reason why I shortened the wild card round, I didn't want the wild card round to be drawn out. I think the wild card series round should be quick and painless. We want to get the division series as soon as possible. And I think the wild card series, the way I was doing it was the 6 played the 5 in a 1, and the winner there played the 4 in a best of 3. I thought that was a little bit too drawn out for the wild card series, a little too long. So I decided, I want no more than 4 wild card games, and then we go right into the division series. I don't want too many wild card games. That's why I like the ladder format that I'm using. Have I had? You could do an who should be kicked out of the existing Hall of Fame should be included. I love that, Jim. I don't know. Maybe half the people I know should be kicked out. Let's see. Let's see here. Have you ever had less than 4 teams in the postseason? No. Although that being said, if I think I have to check the 1961 standings, because in 1961 there were 10 teams in the American League and 8 in the National League, and the Dodgers had a losing record. That would have been a year where only 3 teams would have gotten in. If that happens, then the number 1 seed in the league automatically goes to the championship series. The 2 will play a 3 in the division series, and that'll be it. I'm going to do it that way if that happens. So that's why you want to win the games. The regular season has got to mean something in some way. It's got to mean something in some way. If you win your games, you're going to go to the postseason. Do I play football? Used to. No. Too long to play. Too long to play, Ron McGrath. Too long to play. I tried playing football games on this channel. Take too long. Golf, too long. I don't, even my attention span's a little bit too short for that. Baseball, Marvel Champions I can play. Because those games are pretty short, although some have lasted a while. Certain card games I can play. Certain war games might not take long, but I can't do football, baseball, or hockey. It just takes too long to play. I want to get them on the table. I do. I would love to stream them, but they take too long to play. They just do. Baseball, we can get a good game in about an hour, unless, of course, we're going to extra innings, and then it takes about 2 hours to do it. But that's extra innings. And, of course, I don't use the ghost runner rule unless I have to bring in a starting pitcher in case all the pitchers are used up. Then I bring in a starter, and then after that, the ghost runner rule will take effect the next full inning if the game isn't won back then. The ghost runner rule I'm using to save my sanity because I just can't. Some of these games could go very, very long. And I'll tell you, the extra inning games, guys, tax me. They do. They tire me out. Extra inning games tire me out. I have fun with them, but they do tire me out. You like the existing playoff format? Great format when you're doing videos. I just think it works. I can go back to doing the main basic replay, but then half of the pretty much the whole month of September regular season don't mean anything. The 4 divisions may already be clinched, and then I'm just playing games against teams that have nothing to play for. That's another reason why I expand the playoffs, so that the final month of the regular season could really mean something, especially when I do the final week of September, when we do 1 game per 1 day of baseball, so that we can, get to see who, can get in the final week. Good to see Jeff Gotts. Haven't seen you in a while there, Jeff. Good. Where the 1969 you have the league presenting expansion team with World Series rings. Try to do their home opener. I don't know yet. I've not made the schedule block yet for that. I've already chosen the opening day game. It's going to, I know Brian B will be happy with it is the Dodgers and the Reds opening day, April 7th, 1969. The reason why I chose that over the other 2 was that had the best pitching matchup. I don't think anybody here has a problem with me starting a season with Don Drysdale and Gary Nolan. I think that's a pretty good pitching matchup to start the season with. Kind of like I started in 1972 with Fergie Jenkins and Steve Carlton. Come on, two Hall of Famers. So, you know, do I work a lot of Saturdays? I'm not working tomorrow, but I am working next Saturday. I think I work one Saturday every few weeks. Sometimes I'm asked to go in, and I do. I got no life. So, but no, I'm not working tomorrow. That's another reason why I'm doing this tonight, because I know I can talk. We can talk as long as we want, and I can go to bed and, enjoy my day tomorrow. There's no rush. I'm not working tomorrow. So that's why I decided to do with this today. Yes, the 1969 demo game will be the Orioles and the Mets. It will be at Shea Stadium. Since the Mets did win the World Series, they get the home field. So, yes, it will be Orioles and Mets. I have not created the lineup yet because, again, I don't have the 69 cards. I have to go get them. I will go get them tomorrow for my storage unit and bring back 72 and some of the other seasons have arrived as well. I want to talk a little bit about Chris Davis and inside pitch for a second. Chris Davis, okay, is a heck of a human being. I don't know what he looks like. I've never seen a picture of him. We have discussed things. I've sent him some videos only because what I wanted to say to him, I couldn't type it. Just sent it to him, emailed him a video, and did that. So I don't even know what the guy looks like. I have no idea. We've never talked face to face. I would love to. All right. We never talked face to face. But he has done a lot of work on inside pitch. And of course, his other games, inside the crease, inside the paint, inside blitz. And for those of you who don't know anything about those games, please check them out. They're terrific. I do have some inside the crease seasons. And oh, yes, I do have a copy of Inside Volley. I did get his tennis game. I will do some tennis because my favorite tennis player won the U.S. Open last year, and that would be Coco Gauff, since she happens to live down here. So I will do some Inside Volley, okay? I do have that game, and I want to do some tennis. So we'll try to see if we get some Inside Volley on the table for that. And I did pick up a copy of that. I do have Inside the Crease, although like I said, it just takes too long to play. It just does. And I don't want to do the computer version. The thing about computer versions, even though the computer versions are great, I just think they're gamey. And even though the dice are, completely set up by the game system, I'd just rather not do computer versions. I'd rather lay it out here on the on the channel. I'd rather just lay it out here. I just think that makes good sense. But look at what Chris Davis has done, though, since I started doing this. He is working on a soccer game, yes. Remember how many seasons he had before when I first started doing this? How many seasons he had? He had a lot of holes in his inventory. A lot of holes. Okay. I remember looking at his inventory, and he had a lot of missing seasons. Okay. I think he went 1956, then it went 1958, then 1959, then it jumped to 1961. I think 1962, 63, 64. I don't think he had 65. He was missing so many seasons. He had all the 70s seasons. And he was missing a few 80s seasons, too. He was missing 83, missing 87. I think he was missing 89. He hardly had any 90s seasons. He only had 3 90s seasons, 92, 95, and 98. And he had hardly any 2000s. He had 07, 08, 09, and that was it. From 1998 all the way to 07, 08, 09, he had nothing up. He was missing 10 years of baseball right there. He was missing 10 years of baseball. And then from 07 all the way to the current year, 2019, 2020, you know, 2021 and all that. He had so many holes in his inventory. Please give this guy some love for creating all these seasons that were missing. And mostly, I'll be honest, I kept on pushing him to do that because I told him if you want the one thing, there's another thing. I mean, a good gaming system works great. Okay. If you had a great gaming system, it's great. But if you're missing certain seasons that people want to play, they're not going to get your game. They are not going to get your game. It will not happen. Okay? They're not going to get your game. Because there are certain, like, I remember Brian B. and Brandon Baker, some of my guys in the chat, wanted 1990 so bad because they wanted to play the Nasty Boy Reds. Okay? Baseball Demos is right now asking for 2002. He wants to play the Moneyball Athletics, which I think 2002 and 2005 will probably be next when he gets around. I think those are the two next seasons I think he'll do. But you got, but you know, you got to give the guy some love for actually doing it. And some of these seasons he's doing, he really doesn't like those years. He told me that he kind of fell out of favor with baseball, I think in the late 90s, early 2000s. And he really didn't like the seasons. He didn't like those seasons some, but he's doing them because I told him there are people that want to play these years. You know, couldn't imagine why you'd want the 90 seasons. I mean, there are so many there. I mean, I told him, I said, there are people that want to play these seasons. If you don't have a season in your system, they're not going to buy your system. I don't think they will. They'd rather go to APA, which has all the seasons pretty much. Okay. Although they're way expensive. They'll go to maybe Fall Classic Baseball, which has all the seasons. They'll go to Season Ticket Baseball. Clay's Dreslock has an excellent load of seasons from like the 50. I think even now he's going to the 40s now or something. Clay Dreslock system, which is going all the way up there. Okay. They want to go ahead and, play seasons. But if they say, oh, a good baseball game. And they look and go, what? No 1986? No 1978? No 1962? What? I'm not interested. And they won't, and they may not return. Look at Replay Baseball right now. Replay Baseball is missing so many seasons from the 80s and the 90s. They're only now starting to put seasons in the 80s right now. Replay Baseball. Okay. They just released 1986. Okay. Look at all look at all the seasons they're missing. And so I told him, I said, I went to Chris, you've got to get these seasons done. Fill in your holes. People have OCD, like me, obsessive. We have OCD. Come on, when we look at a list and we see missing numbers or something like that, don't we kind of cringe and go, eh? We all do. I say, oh, let's see here. Let's see, 1978, 1979, 1980, 1981, 1982, 1984. What? Where's 1983? We all have obsessive. We all have OCD. We all have OCD. So I told him, I said, if you have missing seasons, a lot of people are going to think that you don't care about certain seasons or whatever. But I told him, I said, you got to get those seasons done. You really need to get those seasons done. And then, of course, he came into the chat, and I told him, I said, you really got to get those 2000s done. And he is doing them now. So 2001 and 2004 was just recently released. And I told him 2001 would be a great season because a lot of people want to replay those Mariners. The 2004 season, how can you not want to do the 2004 season? The curse is broken. The curse of the Bambino is broken. Plus, people have their favorite teams. One of my favorite teams, as much as being a Mets fan as I am, my favorite Marlins team is the 1997 Florida Marlins. But unfortunately, he didn't have 97 when I first started playing it. But so he now had 1997. He's recently done last year. So, now I can play the Marlins if I want. You're working on completing your collection of seasons from 70 to 2019. Now, for those of you wondering how many seasons of Inside Pitch I have them all. I have every single printed season of Inside Pitch, all separated, put into plastic bags and rubber banded. Trust me, they're fine, and all boxed up. I have every single season he's done. As soon as he releases a season or two, I immediately order it up, and then of course I get it, and I go through the seasons and go through the cards, see if there's any mistakes, and I do find a few. And I send them pictures. I said, you need to fix this, fix that. That's the wrong ballpark name, or it's spelled wrong or something. And he just takes care of it. Not many. There are not. Someone please tell me, try going to talk to Appa and tell them they misspelled they misspelled a player card. Let's see. Like let's say Dwight Gooden was spelled Goodin. Would anybody here have a problem with that? I think you would. Especially since you pay so much for Apple cards, you would think their cards should be top notch. But I have every single Inside Pitch season. There's Philip Reynolds. Congratulations on your engagement, my good friend. I hope you and your future wife will have nothing but love in your. I hope have every love. I know it's not August. It will be July is when the next season will start. Philip Reynolds, July 1. Will start 1969. Demo game will be the week before. But, you got to give the man some kudos. You got to give him some credit. He's a one-man. He's a one-man army. He does everything by himself. He doesn't have a team. He's not like Stratomatic that has a group of people working on cards and ratings. He's not. He's not. He's like Joe Bryan. Joe Bryan, a payoff pitch, he works his butt off. He's a one-man show. Okay? He's a one-man show. Clay Dreslock is a one-man show. Okay? Greg Sovon, may he rest in peace. And now Bink, I think Tremaine Bink is his name, 509. He is now taking over Fall Classic Baseball. I believe he's a one-man show. Okay? You really got to... Baseball demos improve the opener shows. Yeah, I know he will, right? Because of the Reds. Yeah. I mean, you got to give kudos to Chris Davis. And I told him, I said, you might need to take some more, you might need to take some more breaks, And I think Chris is taking some more breaks, from it and try to relax and enjoy what he's doing. And I told him, I said, complete these 2000s, then you can go from any there. And let's see, what data is Chris missing that prevents him doing seasons prior to 1956? He uses Retro Sheet to get the pitch-by-pitch data because of the DIP system for Boris McCracken, because that's the system he uses for Inside Pitch. Not all that data is always as readily available. However, Chris says we may have to find a substitute for that pitch-by-pitch data if he wants to go create seasons earlier than the 1956 season. I told him after he's done with the 2000s, he could probably finish off the 50s if he wants to. But if not, if you just want to create some random seasons, I did give him a list of 10 seasons that a lot of people would love to replay in Inside Pitch. Think your computer died. Well, you might need to get a new one. Got something basic. Yeah, payoff pitch is missing a lot. I think it takes him long. I don't know what system that Joe Bryan uses. I don't know to rate his cards, but yeah, it takes him a while. But the one thing about Joe Bryan, nobody has better card quality than him. I would love if Chris Davis would create an Inside Pitch seasons with the card quality of payoff pitch. Those cards would jump out. They would jump. Imagine looking at this card. Imagine looking looking at this card, right? But instead of, cardboard, glossy, I don't know what pound stock that he uses, glossy, 180-pound stock. I don't know what it is. But imagine inside pitch cards on that. That would be amazing to see. I mean, I was almost thinking maybe he could start creating deluxe seasons. Okay, a deluxe season, which mean, paying extra money, but getting that kind of card quality for certain seasons. I don't know. It's an idea maybe he could come up with. I don't know. He doesn't have to, But he needs data from back then in order to create. He just can't take. He just doesn't take data. He just doesn't take data and just put it in his computer and just get it. He actually has to utilize Voros McCracken's dip system in order for his seasons to work. So that's RJL's the new marketing director for Inside Pitch. Who does RJL predict will win the 2024 World Series? We're in April, guy. I have no idea. Baseball with the demos joins us here. As long as Chris Davis doesn't create a black set like Strat did. I don't think you have to worry about that. I don't think you have to worry about that. I don't think he'll create a black set. Don't worry about that. That was a marketing gimmick by Stratomatic. I'm sorry. That was a marketing gimmick. Stratomatic. They are one of the best. I'm not going to knock Strat, but if they carded all the players. You hear me, Strat? Card all your players. Cheapskates. They look like birth certificates. So I was told, yeah. Jimmy Jam joins us. So, I would like to, you buy Inside Pitch PDF and have a local print print them. Maybe you should tell them to use 180 card stock. And it's glossy. Like I said, I don't know what card stock he uses. I mean, I think I got a, let me see. Yeah, I do. As a matter of fact, I do. I do have some payoff pitch stuff cards here, don't I? Yeah. All my payoff pitch cards are in storage. But here's Gorky's Hernandez. What year is this from? This is from combined totals. I think this is 2020. I'm not sure, but that's the best card stock. I don't know what pound this is. I know this is I think this has got to be 180 pound, and this is glossy too. This isn't flat. That's glossy stock. That's glossy. So I can only imagine how good an Inside Pitch season would look on that kind of stuff. Just recorded Appa Basic for Mag Monday, kind of painful. Do I play other sports besides baseball? Well, I already said no, I do not. Only because, but I am going to do some tennis here. I got Inside Volley. I'm going to put that on the counter. That shouldn't take long to do. But for tennis, but no, because football, basketball, and hockey just take too darn long. And I don't like breaking up into quarters or halves. I just don't. I don't like breaking that up. I don't want, first period, second period, third period. No, I don't do that. The whole game gets played, and that's why I'm only going to stick with baseball. But because I'm only sticking with baseball, and I'm only doing 2 seasons a year of Inside Pitch replays, then I just felt that, I'll just stick with Inside Pitch. Yeah, is that game, is tomorrow's game? Okay there, Jim. Good to see you, my good man. We will see you soon. I mean, I'm taking time off from Inside Pitch, but I am going to be streaming stuff. So join me for once again. Oh, by the way, Jim, your news reports that you put into the Facebook page are hilarious. Keep it up. I love them. Keep it up. So that was recorded, right? Oh, darn. I hate it. I like it when you go live, Dave. I really do. Recording is great, and I'll watch it tomorrow, yes, but I like it when you're live. I like it when you're live. You're very welcome, Mr. Doyle. I like it when you're live, Dave. I really do. Just, I don't know. I mean, well, you won't be home tomorrow. I understand that. I get it. Okay, fine. But I prefer you live. I prefer you live. You're a lot more fun, I think, when you're live because we can have a little fun with you too. But that's okay, Dave. We'll get it. We'll get you next week. We'll get you next week in your next game. Of course, I'll be working, but I'll still be able to watch you. I'll put you on the phone. So, yeah, I prefer people live streaming. I prefer live. I mean, I'll tell you. I mean, Tim, if you're in here, still here, baseball fan. I do like the way you do your premieres, but I wish you'd be more live too. Next week live will be Houston and the Mets. Okay, I'll be looking forward to that. I'll be looking forward to that. But I wish Tim, I really wish you'd go live more often. I guess. I mean, I think it's more fun. There's a Sports Time Machine, Utah Mike. I got to thank Sports Time Machine for all the good vibes he always sends me. And sometimes, and I do like the lurk listening to you sometimes there, STM. You can't do live because the setup doesn't handle it. You have too much information in the game, especially with playing the Arkham Horror Files. Yeah, right. It's more fun because you know the result of the game and because it can be at. It is more fun because you know the result of the game. It can be anticlimactic. Yeah, that, like I said, live I think is much. Like I said, when we do the one thing, I mean, live I always think is better than a premiere. I always think live is better than an upload because I don't know what it is. I mean, okay, so I go ahead, roll the dice. Here you go. Here's your game, and I'll talk to you in the chat, and that's about it. But if anybody has any questions, I really can't answer them. Okay, and if the game is and of course I know the result of the game, but I don't want to give it away. But when I do a game live, I have no idea how the game is going to go. So I'm going ahead and I'm going ahead and being as surprised as you guys are. Atlanta Falcons been catching heck for drafting Penix. That was a head scratcher. Yes, that was a head scratcher, Dave. Yes, that was a head scratcher. When I saw that move, when I saw the pick, yeah, everybody was scratching their heads. Not least of all was Kirk Cousins himself. That was a very strange thing that Atlanta did. But I don't know. Maybe they want to turn Michael Penix into the next Aaron Rodgers. I don't know. More 20-plus innings. No, we don't want no 20-plus innings next year, Philip Reynolds. I'll tell you, I do love the extra inning games, and then I hate the extra inning games because they are exhausting, especially on a school night. There was one time I went ahead and played a game. I think it lasted 2.5 hours. The only thing I could do after I signed off was prepare the game for the next day, like I always do. And then I had to go to bed. I didn't get a chance to rest after that. Went right to bed. Because I'm on a school night. I don't like being late for work. I hate not getting enough sleep. Doubleheader Saturday in 1969. No DHs. No doubleheaders. Not anymore. One game per 3 days of baseball. That's all you get, Brian B. And you better figure out something to do with your life for the next 10 weeks. Although I am going to be doing something. Like I said, I'll do a little fall classic. I want to do a little fall classic. I got an unboxing here that someone in the chat wants me to do. So, which I will do. And maybe next week. I want to take a few days off I want to take at least a few days off from streaming. I want to just take a few days off. Not show my face, not show my ugly mug on the screen for a while. But hey, already playing a double switch for the 69 Reds. But back to what I was talking about, you got to give credit to Chris Davis for creating all these new seasons so that now other people can play them. And, and I know he's doing seasons right now he doesn't particularly like. Okay. But I told him, I said, get these seasons out of the way. Get the remaining of these 2000 seasons out of the way. Get them out because people are asking for them. Like you, David, baseball demos. You want the 2002 season. You probably want to replay the Oakland Athletics Moneyball streak. That would be a great streak to do in inside pitch. The Moneyball streak, the 20-game win streak. See how many of those games you can win, if not go all the way. That would be awesome. The 2002 season. 2005 would be a great year, too. The White Sox finally win one. Could you do us a favor and send Seaver to the Reds for 69? Winning streak replays never go well. That is so true. That is so true. What team is Chris a fan of? He has never told me his favorite team. I don't think I've ever asked him. I don't know if I ever asked him. I don't think he's ever told me his favorite team. He lives in Idaho. I told him, I said, it'd be easier if you moved to Kansas, something like that, and then you could go ahead and send. I mean, you're sending everything from Idaho. I said, you live in Idaho? He lives in Idaho, as far as I know. He's a nice guy, absolutely nice. A little reserved, a little private, and that's okay. That's his decision. But he puts together a heck of a game. He creates inside pitch. His customer service is exemplary. Nobody has. I still say, I don't want to take customer service away from Keith Avalon at play.com for History Maker series or from Joe Bryan at Payoff Pitch. But I just think Chris Davis has the absolute best customer service. I just think he does. I just think he does. If there's a mistake on a printed set, send them. If any of you guys see a mistake on a printed set, I'm not talking ratings. Okay, ratings is superfluous. All right, I'm not talking ratings. I'm talking a mistake on the card, wrong color of the player. Let's say the guy is from the Philadelphia Phillies and he's got Pittsburgh Pirates colors on there. Shoot him and take a picture of the card. Shoot him an email. And if it's a printed set, he will send you a printed card. He'll do that. If it's a PDF, if you ordered a PDF set, he'll just fix the PDF and send it to you. He can do that immediately. He'll go ahead and do that. That's what I call customer service. And you'll get the set pretty quick. You'll get the set. You'll get your replacement cards pretty quickly. Yes, he's made a number of mistakes with the cards I've gotten somewhere, but I've always told him what needed to be done, and he sends a correction. And it's important that I go ahead and do that because it's important to go and do that so he can update his file. Because if he made a mistake sending error cards to me, then I know he's sending those same error cards to everybody else. So I go ahead as soon as I spot a mistake. I said, here's a picture of the problem. Fix it so that the next time you send these files out, you're not going to send that mistake out to someone else. Chris Davis is a Bengals fan. The only reason is because he screwed up one of my inside blitz orders. Let me extra season, and he was a fellow Bengals fan. Okay, well at least he likes the Bengals in football. That's cool. Chris has sent you corrected cards for a season without me asking. He has done that to me too. Should you send in 1976 Toronto for center field rating error? No. If you don't like the rating, change it on the card. If you don't like the rating, if you don't like that this guy here, okay, is rated a 5 or something. God, I can't. Come on. If you don't like it that this guy is rated a 5 in center field, then cross it off and make it a 4. Done. That's up to you guys. That's up to you guys. I thought I fixed that focus. That's up to you guys. Go ahead, and fix the ratings on your own end. Okay. Ratings for every game system has its own separate set for ratings. Okay. You're never always going to agree with certain ratings. Yes, the Atlanta Braves did win the West in 1969, But will they do it in FastScore? That's the question. Will they do it in my replay? Will my Mets win the East? Will the Cubs win that division? 1969 is going to be a lot of fun. 1969 is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. At least I think so. God dang, focus. That's a little better. So, I mean, Mets are a miracle again. Well, like I said, I think it'll be a miracle. What kind of microphone do I use? I just use the basic condenser mic in my cameras. I don't have my own microphone. Although a lot of people are thinking, although I have been told I should get a microphone, because I know I do sound a little bit like I'm in a tunnel. But if I was to get a regular microphone, I'd probably come out through a lot more clear, and I wouldn't feel like I'm in a hallway. So I am considering getting a microphone that'll probably sound a lot better. Baltimore won the West in 69. Minnesota Twins won the West in 69. Minnesota Twins won the West in 1969. Remember, I did a 1969 runner-up series. It was the Atlanta Braves and the Minnesota Twins. I did that in payoff pitch when I first started getting into this thing. And I can't fix the darn thing. But I started getting into when I first started doing it, and for a payoff pitch, and I did the runner-up series between the Braves and the Twins. So I do know who won those divisions. But remember, of course, I'll be taking the top 3 teams in each division, just like I do in my expanded replay. So there's going to be another round. You never know. One of the reasons why the Astros and the Royals made it to the World Series in 72 and not the Pirates, the Reds, or the Red Sox or the Athletics. And I think it makes it a lot more fun. A Black Cat assessment for Black Cat assessment for September. Who knows? I may do the Black Cat game. I think I did the Black Cat game when I was doing an inside pitch seasons thing. Hold on a minute. This is really gonna tick me off. There we go. Much better. There we go. Okay. When I was doing inside pitch, okay, inside pitch seasons. I was getting, every time I got a season, I did one game from that season. All right. And I think I did the Black Cat game for 1969. I don't remember if I did or not. I don't remember if I did that. I have to look. It is in my channel, though. I know that. That's when I was really first getting into inside pitch and still learning the system. And that was still version 2 before Chris decided to go to version 3 and change some of the rules. I'll be right back, guys. I want to get some more drink. I'll be right back. Give me 2 minutes. Okay. Not sure I need a new mic. Well, I'm using the mic that's in here as a condenser mic. So I sound like I've listened to how I sound when sometimes I replay a video to see if I did anything wrong or something to that effect. But I listen to how I sound. I still feel like I sound like I'm in a hallway. So if I was to get a microphone specifically designed just to be a mic, I might sound better. So I may get a microphone finally for this. I mean, my setup is actually still pretty primitive, although it's pretty decent for what it does, you know. And so you're just hoping Cleveland avoids 100 losses in 1969. I think the Cardinals will win it. Like I said, 1969. I've already looked at the FastScore numbers and a little bit. 1969 is gonna be fun. I'm actually already ready. I'm actually already set to start it. I want to start 1969. I'm actually very happy that my birth year came up. I've had people tell me that if you're gonna do baseball or seasons or something like that, you should always do it. At least at one point in this hobby, you should do the year of your birth. And I was born in 1969, so I get to do my birth year finally. So whatever year you were born, you should do the year of a season of that year, whether your favorite team did a good job or not. So, like you were born in 1970 or 1980, something like that. I was told you should always do the year of your birth. At least do that. So now I can safely say I am doing the year of my birth for 1969. I was actually very happy that season actually showed up. You were born in 65, but know nothing about that season. Well, how do you not know nothing about that season? Sandy Koufax dominated 1965. That was a good year. Third year, what was it, 1981, but the same thing, nothing about it. Well, like I said, 1981, good year. I did the 1981 season, Jeremy. I did the 81. I did 1981, which was a good year. Your birth year has been among the first seasons you brought in every sport you got into. Yeah. Fernando Mania. There you go. Jeremy Brooks, if you want to do a season, you should do 1981. That'd be a great year. Plus, it'd be a short year. Remember, 1981, they had the strike in between the seasons. So, if you were to do a 1981 replay, okay, you wouldn't be doing a full 162. 1981 is a great year. I had a lot of fun doing 1981. And do the All-Star game too. You did your birth year and inside pitch. What was it? 1970, 1976? 1981, best record in baseball, no playoffs. 81 stinks. 1979. Oh, I did the 79. Okay. So I was off by 3 years. Okay, 1979. Clee Baseball Fan 879. Of course, I should have known that. Duh. Should have known by your name. 1979. Did you do a 1979 season yet, Tim? Did you do 1979? That was a good year. A lot of people still tell me the 1979 season that I did was the best season I've done. But I thought 72 was pretty close. You should do 1979. You should do that season. I know your Indians weren't that good that year, but 1979 would be a fun year to do. You'd be doing as well with the We Are Family Pirates. Yeah, the Pirates didn't win the World Series in 1979. The 1979 World Series on my replay was what? The Angels and the Astros. And the Angels beat the Astros in 1979 in my World Series. I think, what, 4 games to 3? Let me see here. Here's my World Series champs. 1994, Chicago White Sox over the Expos 4-3. 1985, well, Steeler fans in the chat. So once I say this, Houston Astros 4, New York Yankees 1. Expect to see Steeler fans trademark about to come through. 1976, Philadelphia 4, Oakland Athletics 1. 1981, New York Yankees 4, Los Angeles Dodgers 1. 1979, California Angels 4, Houston Astros 3. 1961, Milwaukee Braves 4, Detroit Tigers 1. 1988, New York Yankees 4, Montreal Expos 1. 2016, Los Angeles Dodgers 4, Boston Red Sox 2, and of course, just recently, 1972, Kansas City Royals 4, Houston Astros 2. I've only had 2 out of the 10 World Series I've done go 7 games. Seems like the Astros always do well, don't they? They always seem to do well. I don't know. They just do. That's how they go sometimes. You're going to do the same selection show if you're first on channel, but I wonder if you just executive decide to go with your birthday or 1985. 1985 is a great year, Phoenix Knight. That's a great season. I did 1985. I did that in payoff pitch and then switch to inside pitch when I was beginning to get a little bit perturbed with payoff pitch, and I felt I was getting more excitement out of inside pitch, and I switched it to inside pitch midway through the season. 1985 is a great year. Good Mets team, a great Doc Gooden. Dwight Gooden owns baseball in 1985. A great Mets team, a great Cardinals team. Good Royals team. 1985 is a great season to do. D. Smith. I get the most enjoyment out of my 11 and 19-year-old. 1977-85 for me, doing 1978 good seasons for your Royals too. And I'm very sure, Mr. D. Smith, that you are very happy that your Kansas City Royals did win the World Series on my channel for 1972. I'm pretty sure you are very happy about that, sir. And yes, 1986 is the best season of all time. I don't care what you guys say. 1986, the greatest season ever. Has this historical winner ever won the World Series in the season you've done? No. No. The only World Series that I had that actually featured the 2 historical teams was 1981, the Yankees and the Dodgers. But the Yankees won that series in 1981, okay, on my channel. The Dodgers, of course, historically won that series in 81. Okay, so that's the only World Series where the 2 teams, the historical teams, actually made it. Nobody's ever, no one else. No one else. I thought 2016, when I did the 2016 season for Clee Baseball Fan and Brian Patterson, I really thought that was going to be I thought the Cleveland Indians were going to win that series. And then all of a sudden, the Boston Red Sox just took it from them. And I thought, and the Dodgers still had a pretty good team in 2016. So I'm a little shocked at the Dodgers. The season I kind of wish, the postseason I kind of wish I could redo was 1961. The reason why was because in 1961, I was using a 4-man pitcher rotation. In 1961, they did a 3-man rotation. And yes, in 1969 for the postseason, it will be a 3-man rotation because Tom Seaver pitched games 1 and 4, okay, in the World Series against the Orioles. It was a 3-man rotation. So it will be a 3-man rotation in the postseason for 1969. I should have done a 3-man rotation in 1961 for those teams. And I know for sure I would have gotten a much different result. I almost want to redo it, but I'm going to let it stand. I'm going to let it stand because I know because I know we're going to go back further. Even though we're doing 1969, I know we're going to go back again into the 60s another time, maybe in the 50s another time, What was it? Texags 75. He's not in the chat, but Texags really wanted me to do 1956, Jackie Robinson's last year, but you missed a lot of the 1972 broadcast tax season of a CPA practice. I completely understand. I totally understand. Like I said, D. Smith, you can always re-watch the final Game 6 of my World Series and see your Royals clinch it. I didn't think the Royals are going to win that game. When the Astros got out to a 4-0 lead, I said, okay, I'm getting prepared for a Game 7. And then the Royals come out with 8 unanswered. I said, not so fast. Inside pitch is saying this series is ending now. You had one winner be the same. Your 1972 season, Oakland won it against Pittsburgh, not Cincinnati. See, I mean, so, but I guess it's okay. I guess it's all right, if the historical teams don't get there. And people get mad. I said, why? Why would you get mad? That's what's fun about the whole game. That's what's fun about that. That's what's fun about replaying these seasons. That's what's fun about it, because you're gonna get some surprises. Scooney 007 joins us here. Good to see everybody still. We still got some time. We're not done yet. So, I mean, so I would think, whatever your birth year is, you should do it. I'm finally getting the opportunity. When 1969 came, notice when I went ahead and did the selection show, 1969, when that came up, I said, "Oh, this is going to get a lot of votes." Okay, I was right. This is going to sound crazy, but in a way, a sports season replay is ultimate narrative game. Yes, Mr. Knight, you are. That is not crazy. That happens to be correct. What was it? Somebody was. Did anybody? What was it? Just something popped into my head. What was it? I mean, does anybody? What was the question? Shoot. I know you guys have no problem with my expanded postseasons. I've already asked that question. It was another question I just wanted to ask, and now I forgot. And I totally forgot it. Shoot. I totally forgot. That was a question. I just on the tip of my tongue. I was just about to ask it, but I guess I guess I guess you should go ahead and do your birth years. Do a birth year. Do your birth year. I think. I mean, I want, like I said, Oh, I know. Does anybody? I had one guy got a little bit mad. Not mad. That he didn't like the way I did my selection show. He said it was too long and drawn out. Do you guys have an issue with the way I eliminate seasons in the selection show? Is it too long for you? Is it drawn out? Do you guys have any issues with the way I eliminate the seasons to get the 4 seasons for you guys to vote on before I do the season review and reveal show? Does anybody have an issue? Do you think it's too long, drawn out? You think it should? Because that show takes an hour to do. That show actually does take an hour to do with all the eliminations I have to do. And I like the way I do it because you really have no idea which seasons are going to, be there. Actually, that selection show was actually longer. That selection show was an hour and 20 minutes. And I had as many as 50 people watching it. Decade instead of the eras. Yeah, that's the thing. The reason why I don't do it by decade, Phoenix Knight, it's not because actually kind of the way I wanted it, but because I don't want a whole bunch of choices. At one point, I think I had there was one selection show where I had 5 seasons, but this is when I was doing it for 5 seasons. I think it was the second show where I had 1956, 1976, 1978, 2008, and 2017. Now, that was the show that 1976 got the most votes. But I thought 5 was too many seasons to choose from, and I didn't think 3 was enough, so I settled on 4. So I kind of divided, and at that time, Chris was missing seasons, so I had to divide the show into eras, so that it would be pretty much close amount of cards, So that's why the legendary era is 1956 to 1969, the classic era 1970 to 1989, the modern era 1990 to 2009, and the contemporary era 2010 to 2023. All right. I felt that was a good enough separating the 4 separate eras. And yes, we did get 2 seasons next to each other, 1969 and 1970. That's the first time we actually had that happen, where we had 2 seasons right next to each other. but it's okay. And so but I kind of like the way I do it. I mean, if anybody, if anybody, I kind of like the way I do it. I mean, does it take a while? Yeah, but I only do that show twice a year. Guys. I mean, I'll do it. I mean, the 10th Inside Pitch Selection show will be before I do the 69 World Series. And when is that going to be? What, in October sometime? Late October? I only do that show twice a year. It's not like I do that show every single once a month. So, I like doing that show right before the World Series. I always felt that I always felt that doing that show before the World Series was the right way to do it. Okay, we've completed the postseason. The postseason is over. Okay, we're going into the World Series. The World Series, it's part of the postseason, but it's the World Series. The postseason is over. Now okay, guys, we've done the postseason. We got the World Series coming up. Now let's find out which 4 seasons we're going to get to select, okay, for you guys to vote on. And then the dice will decide which season it will be. Although these rolls are very anticlimactic. 4-0 sweeps. And I did not get, I'll tell you the truth. I rolled those dice off camera, when I was thinking about doing it the way I did. I never got 4-0, 4-0, 4-0. I never got that. That was the first time I ever got it with the way I did the dice. But, but then you get 4 seasons to look at, make a vote. And while the World Series is being played, the voting goes on. And when the series is over, we review the current season. And then we see what the next season will be. And as much as I liked having just the votes, decide, I thought it was a little anticlimactic. So that's why I decided to bring the dice into play. So even though you might be voting for a season that maybe looks like it has no chance, it has a chance. It has a chance. Although in these dice rolls for the reveal show, it didn't work out that way. But the next one will be different. And maybe I can still tweak it a little bit. But the thing about tweaking it, I want the seasons that get the most votes to really have the best chance to be decided. I don't want you guys to vote for a season knowing that, okay, even though it's got the most votes, it's got like a 50-50 chance. No, I don't want that. If a season gets the most votes, that season should have the best chance of being the next season. You need selection show fast action cards. Who won the what was that, Sports Time Machine? Who won the what seat? I can't. That hard. I hate that hard. Who won the 61 postseason? The Milwaukee Braves. The Milwaukee Braves beat the Detroit Tigers in the Detroit Tigers. The Milwaukee Braves beat the Detroit Tigers in my 1961 replay. 4-1. But as I said, that was probably because I used a 4-man pitching rotation and not a 3. From now on, any season from 1969 and earlier will always use a 3-man pitching rotation in the postseason. It will not be a 4. 70s and further will be a 4-man rotation because that's when they started using it. You tested your format a few days ago. My second choice actually won. See, it can happen. But that hard guy icon gets in the way. Yeah, I know. I wish I could get rid of it. I probably can. I just haven't figured it out. But, so that was my mistake for 1961. That's why I sometimes wish I could replay that postseason, but this time utilize a 3-man rotation instead of a 4. But I'm not going to. It is what it is. I learned. I went ahead and learned from that. I won't make that mistake again. So anything 69 and earlier will be a 3-man rotation in the postseason. 70 and further will be a 4-man rotation. In 72, we did use a 4-man rotation. Even in 70s, if a team had stud pitcher would start games 1, 4, and 7. I agree. That does happen. But because of that, I kind of think that's unfair. I kind of think that's a little unfair. And so I kind of even it out a little bit. So if either all teams will have a 3-man rotation or a 4-man rotation. I'm not going to have one team do a 3 and other teams do 4. I think it's kind of unfair. So I kind of even it out a little bit. And I think it makes it a bit more interesting. Some pitchers make it. I mean, look at Dick Drago. Dick Drago. That guy couldn't catch a break in my for the Royals in my postseason, could he? He couldn't get a break, but yet he is the winning pitcher in Game 6 of the World Series. He actually finished with a record of 1-5 because I gave him the win. So I gave him the win. So Dick Drago got the win, although Roger Nelson, of course, dominated. He was 4-0-1 with 3 complete games. I thought it was just 2. He had 3 complete games. Roger Nelson, I thought, was the best choice for MVP for that season. Had to give it to Roger Nelson. He's the first pitcher for me to give it to. I usually give it to the most outstanding batter, the guy that usually goes ahead and gets it. But the Kansas City Royals, although they had good hitters and they had good postseasons, nobody really stood out. So that's why I gave it to Roger Nelson. You have to turn off the reactions for this. It's the 1995 Braves still use the 4-man rotation. Yeah, he didn't go 5 innings. I know, but that's my. But I since he was a starting pitcher, I gave him the win. So yeah, forget that rule. This is my league. So I gave him the win anyway. He deserved it after the hell he went through. You would have to turn off the heart emoji for us. Only the stream creator can remove the hearts. I'll have to figure it out then. I'll have to see how that works. I have to see what it is to remove that. Or I have to turn off turn off the reactions? Okay. But but that's what I did for that. So like I said, any 60s and 69 and earlier will be 3-man, and 70s and later will be 4-man always. From now, always. So I look forward to doing 1969 because it's going to be a 3-man rotation, which is actually pretty good because it allows me to put more relief pitchers in there. Because remember, rosters didn't have 50, 60 players throughout a whole year back in those days, and it wasn't easy to create 26-man rosters for certain teams because there weren't that many active players on the last day of the season, according to Action. So, but as long as they were on the team and they were not injured, I could use them. So it just made sense. It just made sense. It just made sense. Baseball demos. One of the knocks against it, pitching 2 dice rolls to resolve, and so it plays as fast as any other game, so the extra roll doesn't bother me a bit. Stratomatic. The Stratomatic sometimes takes 2 dice to roll. Sometimes you got to roll for Stratomatic. You got to roll for range, or you got to roll for error. Stratomatic, you got to roll dice a couple of times. I think the only game you don't have to roll dice more for once really is what, APA. I think one roll usually does it. Although APA, you can play a game of APA and you don't need a pitcher. You don't need a pitcher card, which I think is ridiculous. But okay. But so people say, oh, it takes too many dice rolls. Well, Fall Classic, and Dave with baseball demos, thanks to him, I'm gonna give baseball demo. I'll give Fall Classic baseball another shot. I did pick up some extra seasons. I want to do a 1 and gone for 1919. I want to do a 1919 1 and gone, a straight single elimination tournament between in that, which I have those cards, so I want to use that. Abbey roll twice, we get a 0 on column 1 and a barrel roll. There is that too. You tried the Merino boards that tonight, and they drove you nuts. You're back to basic. Yeah, like I said, basic. I don't know. I don't want to knock any games. I really don't. Everybody's choices. Everybody loves certain games they love to play, and that's great. I get it. I'm not ID Jester. I'm not going to go on a rant. I'm not going to do the famous ID Jester rant. His rants are world renowned. Okay, I'm not going to do an ID Jester rant. I will leave those to him. So if ID Jester, if you're ever watching this, I am not taking that from you. You are the master of the rant. I will not go. I will not rant. I'm not going to go on a rant. That's not what this is about. I just think Inside Pitch just has the most fun. You really don't know what's going to happen. Every card is different. Every roll is different. Every pitcher is different. You really don't know what's going to happen. You really don't. Splits aside, and even though I know people have problems with the splits, with left-right splits, I don't. I just think, I think it actually makes it a little bit more interesting to me. You really never know. You never know. So let's say a pitcher who's never hit a home run comes up to bat, okay, in a ballpark that's got a +1 home run, and I roll a 1 and he hits a home run. Is that unrealistic? A pitcher who has a 0.00 batting average, but I roll a range play and I do a ground ball to second base, and the second baseman doesn't make the play, so he gets a base hit. Is that unrealistic? You got to have some surprises in these games. I haven't done this stuff as long as Baseball Demos. He's done it longer. I haven't done it as long as ID Jester or Al Red Sox Fan or Dave Gardner or Ron Juckett, okay, or Tenacious Earl. Okay, I have not done these games or Tony Porter. Okay, I have not done these games. I have not been doing this as long as they have. I'm going into my what is it? I think this is going into my 5th. I started in 2020, and in summer, well, I think this will be going to my official 5th year. I have not done as long as these guys have done as long. So I don't really have all the experience they have. But I have learned a lot from the games I have played and enjoyed. And the number one thing to me in any of these games I've played, whether APA, Inside Pitch, Payoff Pitch, Stratomatic, okay, what game gives me the most fun? What game makes me the most excited to roll that dice and see what we get? And it's Inside Pitch. I fell in love with it. Even though it was ID Jester who gave Inside Pitch the #1 rating, believe it or not, Baseball Demos really gets a little bit more kudos, okay, for me choosing Inside Pitch, because Dave was actually playing it more often. And I saw him play it. I didn't understand what he was doing, but I did watch him play it, and I said, this looks really, really cool. So I really got to give the credit to Dave, really, for Inside Pitch, moreover than ID Jester. ID Jester gave me what I do give ID Jester for is for Payoff Pitch, because he loved Payoff Pitch. I do give ID Jester for Payoff Pitch. That I do. But Inside Pitch, I'll give a little bit to Baseball Demos, because he was the one that was actually playing it. And as I said, I have not done, I do not have the experience that these guys have. Baseball Demos, you've been doing this for what, 6, 7, 8 years? I'm going into what, my 4th or 5th? I still consider myself a newbie, even though I've been doing it this long, you know. But they really the ones that deserve the kudos. They're the ones that really deserve the credit, you know, for me getting into this crazy stuff. Al Red Sox Fan, of course, watching him for the first. He was the first one I actually did watch. Was Al Red Sox Fan, when I saw him rolling Stratomatic, and I said, "You got to be kidding me! Some guy is actually rolling dice, doing a Stratomatic game." I think it was a Red Sox game or something from 1960 something. I think it was maybe 1967, a Red Sox I think it was the 67 World Series. I don't remember what he was doing, but it was Stratomatic, and he was playing I think he was playing Super Advanced. And I was watching this. I said, this guy's doing this. And I was looking at the chat and I said, and there are people actually watching this guy roll dice. I said, doesn't anybody have a life? Now, this was during the COVID year. This was during the COVID year, because COVID, I wasn't working. So I had to find something to occupy my time. So I watched Al, Red Sox fan, do it more and more, and watched him announce it and do really good. I'm saying I can do this because I've done it all my life. I've done it all my life with the announcing of certain. I've done some action PC baseball stuff. I've done it. But Al was so good at it, I said maybe I can do this. And then I saw Dave Gardner do something. Then I saw Ron Juckett do it. But now Ron Juckett, of course, doesn't use cards and dice. He uses the computer. Okay. But he just did it so well. And I said, I mean, I can do this. So then I ordered a copy of Payoff Pitch with the latest season, the 2019 season. And I did order the 1969 season to go with it, or 2 seasons. He didn't have 1986 yet. And I did an unboxing, said hello to my fans, and the rest is history. Did some Payoff Pitch, did a little APA, did some Stratomatic, Arkham Horror. Phoenix Knight, I have every single bit of Arkham Horror, by the way, of the LCG. I have every single one. I have all of Arkham Horror. I have all of Marvel Champions, and I have also all of the new Lord of the Rings, not the old one. They now redid the Lord of the Rings. I have all of that. So when it comes to Arkham Horror, you and I would get along just fine. I have every single expansion. The older ones, though, I haven't gotten the repackaged ones, though. But I have every single one, every single set, every single card set, including the meddling of Meowlahotep. I have that one too. New York Rangers up 3 games done against Capitals. Yawn. Yeah, that kind of figured. Capitals have nothing for the Rangers. So you and I, Phoenix Knight, Arkham Horror, we would be awesome. And I have played it on my channel. I actually do have some Arkham Horror videos in my channel. They're there. I do have some. I have Marvel Champions, which I love playing as well. I have all their expansions, every one. As soon as an expansion is announced, I immediately pre-order it and get it. Because I love Marvel Champions. It's so much fun. I love Arkham Horror. I don't play it as often as I used to, but I love the game. Okay. And I like the new Lord of the Rings. They updated it a little bit to make it more easier to play. And I'll probably play a little bit of that on my channel too in this off season. So you and I, Phoenix Knight, if we were to sit down and play some Arkham Horror, we'd have no problem with it. Although I do kind of cheat a little bit in Arkham Horror. I kind of make it a little bit easier to play because Arkham Horror is so depressing. But Inside Pitch seems to lend itself to play-by-play announcing on the auto sims. I guess it does because you first have to roll for the pitcher to see what he's going to throw. And then if the pitcher doesn't get to strike out the batter or doesn't put one over the plate or doesn't give up an automatic single, Yeah, I know it's said in the Cthulhu mythos. Yes, Phoenix Knight, I know. Have you ever read any actually of any H.P. Lovecraft's books? I have. And every time I've read a book of H.P. Lovecraft, I felt like I had to take a shower because I felt I did something dirty. I don't know. I once told a police officer I read a book of H.P. Lovecraft. He said, "Come with me. You're going to jail. You did something wrong." I don't know. I just feel that. I just feel that way sometimes. For those of you who ever read a story from H.P. Lovecraft, whether the Call of Cthulhu or Into the Mountains of Madness or anything like that, you might want to take a shower afterwards. You got a compilation was worked on Audible, started rereading The Dream Quest of Unknown Kadal. That one was chilling. H.P. Lovecraft. Died broke. Too bad. What he started now, he wouldn't. If he was alive today, he wouldn't believe it. He died broke. One of the best horror novelists of all time. Hail Cthulhu, by the way. May he rise one day. There's Mike in the Truck. Ever seen the Space 1999 Dragon's Domain of H.P. Yes, I have. And I love Space 1999. One of the best shows ever at the time. I love Space 1999. Absolutely. Loved it as a kid and still love it as an adult. Space 1999, absolutely awesome show. Awesome movie. Awesome show. Great show. Absolutely. Nothing like Martin Landau and Barbara Bain. Two good Jews, by the way. And yes, there were a few night galleries off of H.P. Lovecraft. That's the word. So, I mean, I think to me the sim that's most fun to play, that you have the most fun to play is the one to play it. I just think it is. I just think it's the most fun to play. Sims. It's got to be fun. If you're not having fun, then you're not going to play it. If you're not having fun, you're not going to play it. It's just simple. You know? It's just simple. I think that's why I have so much fun playing Inside Pitch. And yeah, I'm not going to be playing it for the next couple of months, but all that does is just get me, geared up and ready to play it again starting July. Get ready for 1969. Well, I can't wait to start that season. That's going to be a lot of fun. 69 is going to be great. I can't wait to see if my Mets can finally win something. My Mets haven't won a playoff series at all since I've been playing Inside Pitch. They can't win a playoff series. So I think, it's just, to me, it's just got the most fun. Payoff Pitch I thought was a lot of fun too. But then I realized that Payoff Pitch is a little bit predictable. Payoff Pitch is actually a little bit predictable because of how Joe Bryan does the cards. If you roll a high percentile roll, it's automatically going to be an out. Okay? You just got to find the out, and that's it. That's the one thing I thought it became a little bit predictable, and that's why I kind of got a little bit turned off. Inside Pitch, you really have to look at the card. It's not it's unpredictable. You must look at the card when you roll the dice. You must look at the card. You cannot just automatically, like for instance, in payoff pitch, if you roll a 99, it's going to be a fly out. I think it's a fly out to right. I think that's a. Let's see here. I think that's a. Let's see here. No, it's a fly out to left. Under his out cards for Gorky Hernandez here. Fly out to left, ground out to short, fly out to center, fly out to right. Those never changes. He also never has lineouts to. He also never has lineouts to third and lineouts to first. He has lineout to second and lineout to short. He doesn't have any lineouts to first or third at all on his payoff pitch cards. So so I thought payoff pitch was getting a little bit predictable for me. And then when I went to inside pitch, I realized you really have to look at the card. You must look at the card and try to read the card right. Otherwise, you're going to get the wrong result. And that's another thing I like about it. Every card is different. Every single card is different. Payoff pitch is your number 2 similar. You can play as well, especially when playing the same team. Right. That was my caveat with payoff pitch, was because it was a little bit predictable. If it's a high roll, percentile roll, I already know it's going to be an out. I just got to find the out. That's all. And depending what kind of pitch the pitcher threw, tough, in play, patient, that could skew the predictable roll. But still, you roll a 99, you roll a 99 unless it's wheelhouse or something like that. It's an out. You don't even have to really look at the card. You already know what's going to happen. So I got a little bit turned off by it because of its predictability. And then he started changing some of the rules and changing some of the cards, that he actually started updating certain rules, and he started changing some of his cards. His later seasons, he changed some of the I don't know, something to do with the statistics system or whatever he was doing. And it, from what he told me, I said, so this is a new updated rule set, what you're doing? He said, yeah. Okay. So what about the old seasons right now? They're not going to play right now with these new seasons. And he said they'll still play fine, but there is going to be some changes. I said, in that case, you should update your old seasons. And he didn't want to do that, which I understand why, but that was another turnoff. Craig Scarborough joins us here. Good to see you, Craig. So, and now, yes, of course, Chris went ahead and updated his rules a little bit, but he didn't update his cards. He updated the rules a little bit to get certain action that he said was missing, and that's fine. And he asked us. That's the one thing about Chris. He asked us what rules should we put in, and he took a couple of my ideas. He took the ideas of what was it? He took some ideas as well from someone that was on the rule book. I think he took some ideas from Jim Doyle and such. I think baseball demos, he took some of their rules from him as well. Offense is really down this year throughout sort of league OPS is below 700. It's still pretty early. But yeah, that might be a tell. But yeah, it's still pretty early. We're still in April. Teams don't start playing the way they're supposed to until June. Teams don't start playing the way they're supposed to until June. One hour, 51 minutes. Amazing how time flies. Amazing how time flies when you're having fun. Does anybody have any questions about inside pitch or something on how I'm doing, on what I do in here? Does anybody have any questions? Use my position player pitching card, Robert. Good stuff. Oh, okay. Okay. Does anybody have any questions? I'm about to close this off another 10 more minutes. I don't want to keep you guys so long. I thank you all for joining me tonight. I'm going to take a few nights off. I probably won't stream until I want to do an unboxing, and I may do it maybe in the middle of next week, possibly. But I want to take a few days off and not stream for a while. Just watch and lurk for you guys a little bit. No questions. I pitch. We should be spamming the demo game with questions. The demo game is the day that is the game to do it. That's when I go ahead and do inside pitch very slowly, methodically. You'll see every roll. You will see where every roll goes, because I can't do that in a regular season game because I just want to play the game out. All right, that's why I usually don't answer questions during a regular season or playoff game. No questions. You still get mixed up on what? You like the S1 to S6 error chance or a possible infield hit? Yep. You still get mixed up on what's calculated. How do the automatic outs get assigned? Automatic outs is on the pitcher card, and the pitcher card pretty much he does an automatic out where the pitcher has complete control of the at bat, and if the pitcher is a neutral pitcher, Chris will usually assign 3 ground outs, 3 fly outs. If he's a ground ball pitcher, maybe 4 ground outs and 2 fly outs. If he's an extreme ground ball pitcher, maybe 5 ground outs and a fly out. That's how he handles that there. When you play it by yourself with recording, how long does it take to play a game? What, play a game without recording? In other words, just doing like a practice game off, but we're just playing a practice game by myself and not doing announcing or anything like that. I've done a couple of practice games just to get myself back into the field. I can play through a game in 30 minutes. Just roll, make the sit, just roll. That's it. Not announce. Just roll. Okay, base hit, roll out, roll out, roll out. I can be done in 30 minutes. I can be done in 30 minutes easily. How long does it take? So stolen base, you still get mixed up with a stolen base on the pitcher card. Well, I think that's a rating. That's really a rating. But remember when you roll on the strategy roll, when you roll the strategy roll, you always got to take the attempt rating of the batter and the attempt rating of the batter with the the plus or minus hold rating from the pitcher to see if their stolen base could occur or a hit and run could occur or that. You should always still roll you always should still roll the strategy roll. Okay, even if the pitcher doesn't have any I noticed sometimes you should always roll the strategy roll if the strategy roll is necessary, because you got to find out if the batter gets a bunt look. Sometimes it's not always the pitcher. Sometimes you might want the batter to do a bunt. And the one thing is that even if the pitcher doesn't have any balk, pickoff, or pickoff error rating, and the batter and the base runner has an N, you still should roll the strategy roll to see if a bunt attempt comes up. Okay, that's another reason why I do a strategy roll anyway, because I want to see if a bunt attempt comes up, and then I may think about it, or the hit and run. So should always roll a strategy roll if necessary. You don't have to. I mean, if you're using it, you should. If you're not using it, then you can just call, to see what happens. You ask because you wonder how the game would handle a pitch with low Ks but dominating, say, 1973 Jim Palmer. Well, let me see. I think I had a wasn't that 1-0 game? Wasn't that stream less than 50 minutes? Was that stream less than an hour? That 1-0 game that I did, I think Roger Nelson shut him out 1-0. I think that stream was less than an hour. I think it was like 50 minutes. That was. I mean, a pitcher's duel, a 1-0 pitcher's duel, I've had streams last 45 to 50 minutes. If I don't have a 10-minute ticker. If it's a regular season game and I got to do the 10-minute ticker, then the 10-minute ticker takes, 10 minutes. But if I'm doing a postseason, okay, the game is over, I don't have a 10-minute ticker to do. So, but no, I've had streams go. I think the shortest stream I ever had doing this, I think was 47 minutes or something. The game was over like that. Very quick. Very quick. And people say it takes too long, except actually, I think Inside Pitch takes shorter than Stratomatic. Because Stratomatic, sometimes you have to Stratomatic, you have to refer to a chart on range plays or errors. You have to look at the chart. And sometimes you got to and the charts are pretty big, and you got to find the chart. Where in like an Inside Pitch, I don't have to look at a chart for a range play. If it's a range play, I just look at my score sheet. His range is a 3. Roll. It's a 3. He made the play. Out. Done. There are some games that use charts, and too many charts, I think, bogs the game down. Remember, one of our more esteemed hobbyists had major issues saying, well, we always got to refer to a chart. Okay, well, that's a chart. That's it. That's all. This side, that side, that's all. That's the only chart you use. Then you got your range plays, which I wish you would make more of. But those are the only charts you use, sir. The only charts you use. Problem? Now, I did create a helper sheet with certain things for me, just so I can get understanding. With G2, grounded at the plate, error on a throw, and that kind of stuff, make it easier for me to understand. I mean, not every chart is perfect. Even Chris Davis's charts aren't perfect. But I get it. So, I mean, He says you got to use charts. Every game uses charts. There's not a single game out there that doesn't use a chart. Stratomatic uses charts. APA uses charts. APA is a chart-based game. You know? APA uses charts. Season Ticket uses charts. Pine Tar Baseball uses charts. Fall Classic Baseball uses charts. Although the fast action cards do alleviate some of that pressure on some of them, okay, but there are still some charts you got to go to anyway. Sometimes, okay, but Fall Classic though, most of the fast action cards pretty much have all the charts built in, which I'm looking forward to trying again when I play some FCB. Okay, every game uses charts. So what's the problem? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. He also created fast action cards. Chris created fast action cards to help with the base running. Because a lot of people were saying we're having issues with the base running, so he created fast action cards. I printed out 2 sets of his newest ones, and I'm going to try to do a fast action card tutorial. The thing about it is, I think these are great for newcomers. I think they're awesome for newcomers, but I don't need them. I'd rather roll the dice. Because the base running in inside pitch is intuitive. You got a base hit, you're not official. You got a base hit, and you got a guy on first base that's slow as mud. Okay, you shouldn't get the third. If he's slow as mud, and the runner and the guy in left field has a good throwing arm, there's no way that guy should get to third base. And if he's a fast runner, he should have no problem getting to third base. The base running and inside pitch is intuitive. That's what people have an issue with. And I tell them, once you get it down pat, it flows so smooth. And as I said, for people that, that's one of the reasons why I created my helper card. This helper card is specifically designed, to get the calculations. The calculations aren't going to change. The calculations will always be the same, where the ball is hit to and who the outfielder throwing arm is. The only time you need to change that card is if you make a substitution in the outfield and the arm rating changes. I think what Chris did was magnanimous of him to actually sit down and create fast action cards for the game, but I don't think they were necessary. But that's okay. He did it. He did it because he wanted other people to get with the game and learn it at a certain pace. So now, if you have you got a ball hit to left field, okay, and it's a single to left, all right, flip the card, and it says hit S7, hold 1 to 6, trailing runner advances. So if if the base running rating of the runner on first is a 6 or lower, it's automatic. It's a hold. He stays put, and that's it. I still think you have to take the throwing arm in. I'm not sure. I think it's supposed to include the throwing arms of the outfielders, and he also does it for double plays on here, flyouts from second and third, rundowns. I mean, he went ahead and did these, and I think he did these on the fly. That's how much of a genius he is. He did those fast action cards on the fly. I didn't think it was necessary, but he wanted to do it. He made them free. They're a free download on his website. Won't cost you a thing. Print them out. Print them out on cardboard if you want, on cardstock, or print them out on regular paper and sleeve them. All right. And you got some fast action cards to help you out. I agree with you, Brian. It was a sound business decision, and it didn't cost him anything. He actually wanted to create the fast action cards as an actual set to ship with the game or something like that. I actually told them I actually said you don't need to do that. The fast action card should be optional, okay? And I suggest you just do them as a PDF, where also if you need to make any fixes or changes to the card, you just create it in your PDF and upload them to the website, and that's it. Because you're not going to have any old, out of date fast action cards, okay? And he took my idea with it, and he took my idea as they should be optional. So you just print them out, that's it, and just start using them that way. Okay, I did not think you needed to create a set of fast action cards because the game was not really designed to use them. Now, inside the crease, inside the paint, yeah, those games are designed to use this fast action card system, specifically designed for that. Okay, but inside pitch, no. I told him you don't really need to do that, but he decided to, and a lot of people say it's a godsend. So obviously it was a great idea on his part. But I told him he just needed to make it he needed to make it, I think optional, not something that you need to use. You should be rolling the dice. The dice will give you a much more randomized result than the card, I think. Because once that card is used, okay, that card's not going to show up again until you shuffle them. And you won't be using many of them. You'll only be drawing that card on certain occasions. And you don't even have to use the whole card if you don't want to. If you already know how to use the base running but having problems with the double play, just use the double play section. If you're having issue, if you know the double play section, just having problems with the base running, just use the base running section. That's all. You don't have to use the whole card. Who says? Just draw the card for the situation you want it to use for. You should offer the option of buying them printed for lazy slugs like me. No. Print them out. They're not gonna. You're really only printing 4 sheets of paper. You're only printing 4 sheets of paper, but you should print 2 sets, and that should be enough. You're not going to be flipping cards often. Remember, most base hits are S1 to S6. And that's on the chart. Most base hits are really S1 to S6s, and the chart and the base running rating of the ball player automatically tells you what he does. The base running's exciting. Could have a play at the plate, anything like that. How many card sets do I have in my home at a time? Because I have a lot of inside pitch and storage. The only card sets I usually have here is the set I'm using now. But I do and of course, any sets that have been purchased since then. The sets I have right now is, of course, 72 and 73 because my 72 set is in the same box as my 73 set. They're already been resorted. I already put the players what their teams are supposed to be. Because remember, players get traded throughout the year. So I go through all the sets again, go through the players, put them with their correct teams again, wrap them up put them back in the bag, wrap them up and rubber band them and then put them in the box. I also have 2001 to 2000. I have 2001 and 2004 here. I also have 2023, but that box is half empty because I'm waiting for 2024, which will be next year, of course. So I'm probably going to keep that box here, but the others are going to go back in storage tomorrow. But I got to get the 1969 set over here now. I've already printed out. As I said, I've already printed out the 1969 French players, okay, on cardstock. I now got to put them with the team they're supposed to be with. So, so I got to put the French players with the teams. The only upgrade inside pitch needs a most robust rare play chart. Yeah, that it does need. I really wish he had more rare plays. I don't think that's high on his list, but I've been working on maybe creating my own rare play system, utilizing the way he works it with the help of maybe replay or season ticket baseball. I'm really considering making my own rare play setup, but it's a pain in the butt. Not easy to do, but maybe I'll have my own rare plays. I know he has no problem with me creating more rare plays. We do need more rare plays, that's for sure, because the rare plays do come up a lot. So we should have more rare plays. But the thing about rare plays, though, they need to be rare plays. Unfortunately, some of the rare plays on his chart are plays that can happen without being a rare play. Okay, really. He has one here where, let me see, grounded to third base, who throws in the dirt, making the first baseman scoop the ball. Resolve play using a range play check for the first baseman to see if he scoops the ball. Batter out, otherwise E5. Now, in this case, it's not a range play. If he makes it's a range play, but the range play becomes an error instead. That's why he did it that way. You know, there are certain most of these are injuries or designed for injuries. I really wish he would maybe create a rare play chart that is just injuries and a rare play charts for plays. That would be something as well. I mean, that's the one that is a caveat with me on it, but I've learned to live with it. It is what it is. But maybe I can make my own. So I already got a rare play with bases empty. I just got to create maybe one for man on first, maybe man on second, man on third, something like that. I don't know. I could probably do it. Used to have a problem with the rare play to realize it's really just a way to reduce injuries in the game, but I have used a rare play baseball rare play chart to translate well. Yes, it does. I've not picked up replay baseball, and I really should. I should order a copy of the 1986 replay baseball system, and then look at their rare play charts and see if I can convert them into inside pitch. Season ticket baseball rare play chart is easily convertible. Clay Dreslok's rare play system is also very easily convertible. That can be worked in. I could use his rare play chart as well. Clay Dreslok's season ticket rare play charts is also genius. So, But, I mean, it's just, to me, it's just the most fun to play. It's the most fun to play. I look forward to doing a season every time. Trust me, guys. I do look forward to getting the season. I mean, right now I'm happy I'm going to be taking a break. But in around a week or two, I'm going to wish my 1969 season was going to start already. But trust me, it also, taking the break also builds up my suspense, my wanting to start the next season early, next season. It gets that into me as well. So when we get to the demo game, I know, yes, next week we're starting 1969. And I tell you the truth, I think the year flies by when I do that. I started 1972 on January 1st. We are now April 26th. And it felt like I didn't do anything. That season went like that fast. 1972 went just like that. 1969 will start July 1st. When we're done, it'll be late October. We'll already be getting ready for Thanksgiving, Christmas, the holidays. Football season, of course, will be started by then. Really. Things that are rare plays and covered. Yeah, I agree with you there, Joe and Pico. But David, Baseball Demos is right. I still think it needs a more robust rare play chart. It really could do that. It really could do that. I agree with him on that. And he's an expert in this stuff. He knows it. Like I said, I've only been doing this for a short amount of time. And yes, I have to say, yes, thanks to you guys, I have been getting a lot more popular. I have been noticing I've been getting a lot more popular lately because of you guys and because of my streams. And apparently also the YouTube algorithm is putting my streams into other people's front pages, home pages, I noticed. Okay. So I noticed I've been getting popular. And I appreciate that. But I'm not gonna get complacent on that. And because although I have been getting more popular, but I don't want to take anything away from the guys who've been doing this longer than me. That's why, I always tell people, check out Al Red Sox fan, Dave Gardner, ID Jester, Baseball Demos, Clee Baseball Fan, Tim, Phoenix Knight. There's this new guy lately that's doing Steve Aqualung, 1956. He was in the chat. He was in the chat a few days in one of the World Series games, I think. Steve Aqualung, was in the chat. He was watching me play inside pitch, and he plays Stratomatic. I think he's doing the 1966 season for Stratomatic, and he does it around after 5 o'clock. And I've been using him as a evening drive. Okay, check out his channel, Steve Aqualung 1956. He's doing Stratomatic. I think it's advanced. He's doing advanced SOM, the 1966 season. And I've been listening to him on my evening drive. I just put on YouTube and listen to my radio and listen to him. Okay, and he does a good job. So gotta give him a little love. Gotta give him a little love. So and I know he's not in the chat tonight, but if anybody goes to him and listen, and he does it live. He does it live. Okay, so tell him I sent. To anybody goes over there to listen to him, and he's very good. He knows his baseball, and as he does Stratomatic, so can't go wrong with that. So check him out. New guy on the block, just like Phoenix Knight. New guy on the block, excellent. Sports Time Machine, not the new guy on the block, but he's excellent. Baseball Demos, not the new guy on the block, but he's excellent. Our Red Sox fan and Dave Gardner, not the new guys on the block, excellent, but excellent. And of course, Mr. Ron Juckett. Mr. Inspiration, which he is. So check out all these guys' channels. You still think you're a kind of a new guy. And of course, let's not forget Beatles Eternally, who we have not seen lately because I think he's been working a lot at night. We have not seen Beatles Eternally lately. Don't worry, he's still there. Beatles Eternally is still there. I'm still catching him to him. So don't forget Mr. Beatles Eternally or Bernard Strom. Bernard Strom Sports Replays, and Dwayne Martz. Can't forget Mr. Martz. He's doing them good. I think he's doing a Braves replay, I think. And there's Texag 75. We were just talking about you a while ago, knowing that you wanted the 1956 season for Inside Pitch to be done. But you gotta go ahead and check out all these other guys. They've been doing it long. Some of them just started. Some are now calling me an inspiration, and I'm very humbled by that. But got to go with the guys who've been doing it longer. And of course, Appa Brian. Oh, of course, I forgot. How could I forget Appa Brian? Now he is the master of Appa, and everybody will say that. Al Red Sox fan does a great job. Dave Gardner does a great job, but everyone knows that Appa Brian is Appa. He is Appa. All right. He is Appa. I think he knows those charts in his. I think he knows those charts in his sleep. I think when he wakes up, I think he sees his Appa charts, whether it's and I know he uses the Marina board sometimes or Appa Basic, but I know he sees those charts in his sleep. So yes, no, there are a lot of good people out there that play Appa, but Appa Brian is Appa. He is it. If I'm the ambassador for Inside Pitch, Appa Brian is the ambassador for Appa. That's all he does. And he is so relaxing to listen to too. Sometimes I go ahead and put a game on. I use it I just it's a replay, but I listen to it while I'm separating Inside Pitch cards. He is so relaxing. Has a great voice. His wife can sing beautifully as well. He's got a great voice, great guy. And yes, can't forget Lee Anthony Crooks, who created probably the greatest tabletop game of all time, Glory Days Boxing. Nobody like Lee Anthony Crooks. Lee Anthony Crooks is one of the best. He created the games. So check him out as well. Check out Lee Anthony as well. Bleacher Bums Gaming. Tell him Robert sent you. Man's awesome. Man's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. To create the games as well as play it, that's what I call genius right there. I call that genius. I'll play the games. I can't create a game. I have been able to create certain things with inside pitch, knowing what I know a little bit about the formula, but he's just but I can't create these games. I don't know how he does it. Yep, Gillies Tebow when it comes to hockey. P-Jet out there for hockey also does well. And of course, we're never going to forget ID Juster. He does it all. He does war games as well. ID Juster always presents a new game to look at. He may not get many views, but he needs to get more. So for those of you who ever see an ID Jester, please go see his channel. Even if just take a look and see what he's putting on his table. Some of it's really interesting. Really is. Kurt Berglund, absolutely. Kurt Berglund's another genius of the hobby. Kurt Berglund's another genius of the hobby. Absolutely. Man knows his baseball. He knows what he's doing. Absolutely. He's a big fan of replay baseball. He also likes payoff pitch. I know he likes season ticket. I know he likes here's the pitch baseball too. Kurt Berglund is just amazing. Been catching games offline. Windows around 9 to 12 and move from 7 to 9. Yeah. All my streams will always be in a playlist. As I said, my 1972 playlist has now been closed, so I won't be adding any more things to that. I've already updated my channel, said that where 1972 is done. My 1969 season will start on July 1. So still getting your legs under you, which is a big reason why the payoff pitch replays off the channel. Yes, P-Jet is good inside the crease videos. Yes, he does. And of course, I remember I told you Beatles Eternally. Beatles Eternally is the master of dead ball. He is the master of dead ball. That's for sure. He is the dead ball master. You want to talk baseball from 1920 and before, he is the guy to talk to. You want to talk about Christy Mathewson. You want to talk about Rube Waddle. You want to talk Shoeless Joe Jackson. You want to talk Ed Delahanty. You want to talk about Three Finger Brown, Smokey Joe Wood, Cy Young, Ty Cobb. You want to talk about those guys? Beatles Eternally is the guy to talk to. His is the channel to watch. You were hoping Oakland would repeat for the 1972 season. Texags, like I said, the Royals versus the Astros. If you'd have told me that was going to be my World Series for 72, I would have thought you were on crack. I would have thought you were on crack. Oh, and I'm sorry. After further review with Steve Tower. My bad. After further review with Steve Tower. He is the history maker. If I'm the inside pitch ambassador, he is the history maker ambassador. The play.com, he is the history maker ambassador. Because he does history maker baseball. He does basketball. He does everything. He does second season. He is the history maker ambassador. Is after further review with Steve Tower. And of course, he's also very good with on-deck baseball. He's also very good with on-deck. He's very good with on-deck baseball. So after further review with Steve Tower, my bad. I got you in there. And he has so much fun. Especially when he has so much fun. With his ukulele and everything, he has so much fun. I look forward to him doing his streams for baseball and for second season. He does some basketball too. Dave Gardner, of course, is the hockey expert. He's the master. He is the Lord of the Rink. When it comes to hockey, nobody beats Uncle Dave Gardner. He is the Lord of the Rink. No doubt. No doubt. And of course, Al Red Sox fan is the jack of all trades and master of all. He does it all. Wrestling, boxing, which is his favorite, I think. I love how Al Red Sox fan does his I love his baseball, yes, but nobody beats Al Red Sox fan when it comes to boxing. As much as Lee Anthony Crooks is the creator of Glory Days Boxing, but Al Red Sox fan is a Lord of the Ring. Lee Anthony's good, but to me, I think Al Red Sox fan takes his game and makes it the way it's supposed to, enhances it. Nobody beats Al Red Sox fan when it comes to boxing. He is the boxing king. And of course, he does everything else right. He's amazing. Everybody is. There's a very interesting, crazy thing we're all doing. To think that here I am, rolling dice on a desk, moving cards around, and I got a whole bunch of poor schmoes. I mean, good people in the chat watching me do this. I don't know who's crazier, me or you guys watching me do the thing. Go get a life. You got lives. Poor schmo. Poor schmo. I'm a Jew. I can use that word. So, you're just looking forward to the 69 season. I know you guys, I know everybody. All right. Brian B's already saying, what am I going to do with my life at 7:30? I'm pretty sure you might be able to find something to do. Legend Sports Universe. Yes. Chris Slovic. Yes. Dave Little, of course, is excellent what he does too. Dave Little is the basketball expert, I've been told. Dave Little is the basketball expert. He's the basketball guy. He is the basketball guy. So, when it comes to war games, nobody beats Jester. He is the war game guy. I can do a little war gaming, but not like he can. He's the war game expert. He's the war gamer. And, of course, he does everything else right. So, we got so many good people in this hobby. I wish we all got paid for this. I really do. If I can get paid. If someone out there could give me $1 million, I could quit my job. I could stay home and I could just do this all day long. $1 million would set me up the rest of my life. $1 million would set me up the rest of my life. I'd be fine with that. I could do with it. Rod Hess for tabletop basketball. I heard of him, and I heard he is very good. You're not a specific game guy. You play too many. That's true, Dave. You do play too many, but that's fine. Play them. Play them. Your baseball demos. You're the demos of baseball. But I thought you were going to change that name. I went from RJL 518 to RJL Network. I just think it matched. So I thought you were going to change that name, but I guess you stuck with it. I think it is time to shut it down. 2 hours and 30 minutes of me rambling on, I think is enough. So I think we're going to shut this stream down. It's 10:30. I would like to watch some stuff and see what's going on out there. What is going on out there? Let me real quick here. Let me go to see what's going on. Anybody doing anything right now? Jeez. Let's see. No, not really. Nobody's doing anything. I don't see. Nobody doing anything. No Dave Gardner. No nothing. I guess. Okay. I guess nothing going on. Well, guys, yeah, the draft night, of course. The draft is still going on. So, thank you all. There's too many people in the chat for me to go through everyone. So, I'm just going to say thank you all for joining me tonight. Please leave a like on your way out of the, I guess, movie theater, since we're not in a stadium. Subscribe if you're not done so, and make sure you hit the darn bell. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay smart, stay strong. We'll see you guys next time. And I will, if there's anything I'm going to be posting, like any of the unboxing or anything like that, I'll post it in the community tab. All right. So you guys will know what to expect. Okay. Guys, have a good night. Have a great weekend. And we'll see you guys I'll see you maybe next week in the middle of next week in the middle of the week sometime with an unboxing. Okay. Have a good night, everyone. And we'll see you later. And be good to each other, please. Take care.